Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Unstoppable Pursuit podcast, where we're pushing the limits in business, life, and health. And today is episode 19, and we're talking about decisions. And it's out of the book, Today Matter. Make Today Count by John Maxwell. I'm Brian Benson, and next to me is Mike. He always opens the door for the ladies' stall, and he wrote a book called Dominate Your Day. He's going to read out of it, and then we're going to dive into the Today Matter, Make Today Count decisions, and it's going to be badass. So stay tuned, join in, comment, like, and share.
The world can be a cruel place sometimes. It's survival of the fittest. On a daily basis, we are faced with decisions and battles that we sometimes win and sometimes lose. In order to get to a place of achievement, you don't necessarily need to win every battle, but ultimately need to win the overall war. If these places of achievement were so easy to get to, then they would really not be that great in the first place. So if you think doing what everyone else is doing will get you there, think again. Your work ethic, ambition, and passion must be unmatched. What makes you different?
Ooh, man, oh man.
Rowdy, we likes the pod.
Powerful, brother, powerful, man. Yeah, dude. Well, you know, the whole concept today is on decision making, and it's coming out of this book, Make Today Count, because really at the end of the day, like, the decisions that you make today will affect tomorrow, affect the next day, and the next day. So we're going to go into 12 important decisions to make day in and day out. But Mike, do you want to kind of go through some of this? I mean, we found some good nuggets here that I think we need to share with the audience.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I want to add to what you said is that it's a necessary thing that we need to do every single day, and it's not easy, but it is necessary for success. I mean, that's one key note to take away from this podcast, is that it's absolutely necessary. If you want to be successful in any area of your life, you're going to need to make decisions, because you can't just keep saying, I don't know, and just being passive and letting things pass you by. Be confident, make those decisions, and move forward with your life.
And making the right decisions, and even if you're not making a decision, that is a decision, right?
Now that's deep.
So make the right decisions. Make decisions they're not. If you want to be successful, it's making the hard decisions. I think, you know, it's making the stuff that's like, man, this is going to be tough, but you have to make that decision. Go into this like little reading here.
Okay,
I think that's awesome.
And quickly, before we hit number one on the list, I'm going to quote Maxwell to kind of set the tone here. You don't make decisions because they're easy. You don't make decisions because they're cheap. You don't make decisions because they're popular. You make decisions because they're right. That's the right thing to do, is to make the decision. Okay, so number one, attitude.
Yeah, I mean, that I always preach, and Mike does too, attitude of gratitude, you know. I mean, your attitude is everything. We did a whole episode, I think it's like episode 3 on the podcast on attitude. Like, your attitude is everything. How are you showing up? How are you treating people? How are you in different situations? This is something that you have to be very conscious of every single day, have that self-awareness to have a great attitude going into the day. I think it will help you actually in your decision making if you're having a more positive attitude toward your day, toward life, toward all the things that you have to make decisions around.
Right, and I said that in my book, is that your attitude is your most precious piece of real estate that you're ever going to own. You own that. It's your intellectual property. You have the right, and you need to make that decision daily, basically.
Yep, absolutely. Number 2 is priorities.
I think this is a big one. Obviously, in order to be successful, I think that you need to have your shit together. You need to have your priorities straight. I mean, part of me determining where I want to go in my life is, you know, I make a list of 10 things I want to do, but the truth is I need to rearrange those priorities, because maybe the first 5 are like 20 times more important than the latter.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, you got to set your day up for success. Make a list if that's helpul.
Checking it twice.
Gonna find out if you're naughty or nice. Santa Claus is Bucci Claus is coming.
I thought of that because you said make a list, you know.
No, it's true, man. You need to. And your daily list of priorities, sometimes things will change. So you need to find out what's the most important that day or in that time, and prioritize that so you're doing your most valuable activity at the right time.
Boom.
That's you.
It's me?
Yeah,
I said priorities.
I said priorities. You said attitude.
Oh, that's true.
Oh my!
Righty then.
But you know what? I want to say this one because you're going to do this anyway better. So the third one is health.
Well, I was going to quote a previous podcast on saying, without your health, you have no wealth. You know, and we have our own personal examples of how we got deep into entrepreneurship and we let our health go by the wayside, and that affected every area of our life. So obviously making decision to own your health, improvement at all levels is going to improve every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. If you aren't at your best, if you aren't feeling your healthiest, you can't perform at your highest. We've said it a million times. It's so important. Get that regimen down, like figure out a workout routine, do some kind of exercise, eat healthy. I mean, it's so important.
And I'm glad that we're doing it now, because now this fits you too. Family.
Yes. Well, I'm having a kid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Very,
saying.
very soon. So yes. You know what? I mean, you have to, especially making the right decisions about your family, and I've talked about this in other Facebook Lives and things, but, you know, I call my family, like, the whole idea of my family is in the bank. I call it house money. So my family, my wife and my unborn son are my house. Like, anything that I go out and get extra is just gravy, you know? I have everything. I already have the house money. I'm playing with house money every day. It doesn't matter. So I have to make the right decisions for the team, for the family, for everything. But it's so important to really communicate and to really care for the people who are closest in your life. So anything on family for you, brother?
Nope.
Nope?
I don't think family's important. Just kidding.
Man, oh
No.
man.
No, I think you summed that up very nicely. I mean, because the truth is, like, you know, when you do have your kid, things are going to change for the better,
Yeah.
but they're going to change. And so, again, going back to, like, your health is important for your child. Your priorities are going to shift around a little bit. You know, your attitude may change, your perspective. So I think, you know, that's an important one.
Making the right decisions around them. All right, the next one is thinking.
This one for me makes me think that I know this is an area that I need to improve upon.
Yeah.
Like, I sometimes tend to get negative thoughts in my head, and I'll drag them out a little bit. Like, sometimes when I'm driving in my truck, I notice I do that. But we talked about it in a previous podcast where I need to stop that. I need to stop that in its tracks and reshift my thinking, so I'm thinking more positive things, because what we're really thinking about a lot is what is consuming us and what we're going to put out into the world. I want to be putting out positive vibes, attitude of gratitude, so that I attract that back in abundance.
Yeah, I totally
And
agree.
I'm still working on that, so I'll be the first to admit.
No, it takes a lot of time, and thinking in general, just thinking about your next move, the vision, where you want to go. Put thinking into a daily practice. Many of us just have these habits and routines and things we just go along the daily grind, but we don't take a moment to be like, really think, what do I want? Is what I'm doing right now going to get me there?
Right. I think we kind of slip into, like, and having habits is good, but sometimes you slip in so much to a routine that you actually stop what you just said, actually thinking about what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Is this what I really want to be doing right now? Because this is going to affect where I'm at tomorrow.
Exactly. It just is. It becomes this a treadmill or
cycle.
whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Number 6, commitment.
Man, oh man. This one is probably my favorite on the list because I just believe in commitment so much. When you commit to something, that means you got to make the right decisions to allow yourself to achieve that commitment that you've made to yourself, whether it's your health and you say, look, I want to get healthy, I want to feel good. You're making a commitment to yourself. Now make the right decisions to get there. I want to make $1 million. That's a commitment to yourself. So all these things, when you make commitments to people, it's integrity, it's character, making the commitment and then making the right decisions to get you to that commitment is so important. I mean, you cannot go back on your word once you make that commitment.
Yeah, and I'll speak on behalf of you and I in that I don't ever question our commitment on things. I think we're committed. We're probably more committed than what we should be.
Yeah.
Like, to where it does, like, it consumes you. So commitment's not really, the thing. I think the issue for us is having the patience, which again we've talked about before, on having that timeline of things to happen. Even we fall into an attitude of we do want things quick.
Yeah,
you know
I know.
what I mean? Of course, like with this podcast, we want to make millions of dollars, but the truth is, maybe that might not happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
We're committed to doing, 200, 500 episodes, but we just need to stay committed.
Yeah, exactly.
And trust the process and accept that there is a timeline to success.
What you just said right there, I just want to hit home again on that. Trust the process. Show up, make it happen, but trust that all the things that you're doing will eventually, you'll see what you want at the end of the day, but just trust yourself and trust that process. I love that, Mike. Finances.
I like this one.
I'm not good at this one.
Brian said he's not good at the money burns a hole in his pocket.
Champagne, what is it?
Champagne tastes on a beer budget. That's funny. I would say as an entrepreneur, every single penny counts.
Yeah.
And I think both of us can relate to that because, as an entrepreneur, you may not be making a lot of money at first pursuing your passion project. That money may not be showing up to the table. So, yes, you have to learn how to manage your money and probably live below your means so that you can get ahead in the future. But, to most entrepreneurs that truly want to pursue their passion projects, it's worth it to them. The idea of achieving their goal outweighs the risk and maybe the fear that's involved of being a little afraid, So of course, it's important to manage your money no matter who you are, but I think as an entrepreneur, it's even that much more important because you are making a lot of sacrifices up front. A lot of entrepreneurs are putting in a lot of their own money into what they're doing, so that money will go fast. So save it up in your piggy bank.
Yeah, exactly. Put a cork on that thing and never open it. No,
Exactly.
I didn't realize I was the champagne taste on beer budget when I had a 9 to 5. I really was because I was like, well, I'm going to make a paycheck no matter what.
Yeah.
And the buck didn't stop at my door. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I think the biggest thing is on the finances as an entrepreneur is like you have to be frugal, you have to be stingy, you have to understand where it's going where. And I don't think that too many people manage that correctly sometimes, and they don't realize that it will go very, very quickly. I mean, you know.
Are you calling me out?
I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling you out. Sold your house, got rid of your Maserati.
If it's anyone that knows that, it's me. So I've lived that firsthand. It goes very quickly. Even when you feel like you are focused and you have an end goal, that goes very quickly.
Yeah.
Because I was dumping a lot of money into the project that I was interested in achieving. So
yeah, I know. It's crazy, man.
Faith.
Well,
that's a good one.
And honestly, whatever your faith is.
We haven't talked about faith in religion and spirituality all that much either.
No, we really haven't.
So.
And we're obviously
Pastor Benson, please.
We're a non-denominational podcast.
Non-affiliated here.
We don't care, but have a faith in something. If that's God, if that's the universe, if that's whatever your spirituality is, whatever you believe in, have a deep faith that things will come to fruition for you when you make the right decisions. Have a faith that you deserve to be successful. It's your birthright. Have the faith that things will appear in your life and you need to make the right decisions to maximize on those opportunities that are put in front of you. So deepen some kind of faith within you. It keeps you strong, keeps you mentally going. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, faith has been helpful for me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would say faith is so strong that you are believing something that you really can't see yet.
Yeah.
Like if you have faith that you're going to have a beautiful home for your family, well, you can't see that home. You can't touch it. It's not there. But you have the faith that if you keep working hard and make good decisions, like we're talking about right now, and you have your priorities straight and your motives are where they need to be, that you are going to see that out and it's going to come to fruition.
Yeah, I love that, man. All right, number 9, relationships.
We talked about this one a little bit in the past couple of segments, and obviously, like I like to kind of bring back up what Brian had said, is that you are really like putting a $100 bill above everyone's head. Not with a bad motive that you're trying to get something from them, but you are truly valuing that person's input, their feelings, their emotions, whatever it is, you are investing in that person. You are trying to, fill in a gap, provide a service to them, provide value to their life. So I think that one thing that I'm learning personally as I go through this whole business thing is that we are crossing paths with a lot of people, and you teach me this a lot because of your networking capabilities, is the value of building those relationships with people. Because really, if you don't have those relationships, it's really hard to do business.
Yeah,
if
completely.
there's no relationship there's no trust, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the ROI on relationships, but I can tell you, and I just posted this on my personal page, my good friend Jason Gaynard, he wrote Mastermind Dinners, he runs Mastermind Talks, but it's a networking business. It's an event that he puts on, and he does $1.6 million a year, and it's him and his wife, Candace, helps him at times. I think he has maybe an assistant, but that's it. But he invites 150 entrepreneurs, and it's like the best networking, relationship building business I've ever seen in my life. So I think you guys need to check that out. We'll have that in the show notes for you guys to check out. But yeah, I mean, the ROI in relationships, it helps you get things done better, faster. So just make this decision to be, invest in them.
Number 10, generosity.
Oh, was that me? I read relationships. This is generosity. So anyway, be generous. Mike's getting out of it. No, I read relations. I read relationships.
You.
Mike's.
You said relationships.
Don't interrupt.
So no,
don't interrupt over
you
here.
You said relationships, so I talked about that. Now it was my turn to say generosity. People that are listening right now are like, geez, this is episode 19. Don't they have their shit together?
No, I'm going to drop the F-bomb right now. This is about F-bomb. F-bomb. All right.
Gosh,
oh, man.
funny.
Oh, gosh. All right.
Right.
I know. Be generous. I mean, and that doesn't always include just money. Like, be generous with your time. Be generous with people. Anything that you that comes into your life every single day. Be just a generous person. Learn how to give. Learn how to love. Learn how to accept others and don't judge. Just be very generous and learn that everybody comes from somewhere. So help whenever you can. Like, lend a helping hand. Like, should be part of your character and the person that you are every day.
Yeah, being generous is magnetic. And when
it is
magnetic, people are going to want more of what you have. So if you have a business, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, number 11, my turn. Values.
This one's kind of an easy one. I think it's, I think it's very basic, and that if you don't have good values, I don't think you're really going to get very far in life. You're gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way. You're going to burn a lot of bridges, and I think you're going to go down a wrong road. So, and that's one thing too, is being an entrepreneur or pursuing your dreams, whether it's personal or business. Maintaining those values is going to keep you focused. It's going to help you maintain your integrity, your character, which is all these things that we talked about, which are very important along your road. And, again, you're going to be tempted to maybe take the shortcut, try to take the shortcut, or do things that maybe don't align with your morals and goals. And you need to go back to what your values are, what your motives are, and really who you are as a person. If it doesn't line up with you, and it goes against every grain in your body, and you feel super uncomfortable about it, not because it's pushing you out of your comfort zone, but because it really is going against every grain in your body, listen to that. Go back to what your values are.
Yeah, dude, you hit the nail on the head, brother. Good job, man. I have nothing to add to that.
All right, number 12, growth.
This is probably my maybe second favorite on the list here, and why? Because as an entrepreneur, business owner, or just anybody in life, you should always invest in yourself and be a lifelong learner. We are always learning. You should learn something new every single day. Take time in your day to read, take time to learn something from somebody, but just keep growing and keep learning. I mean, that is so important. Like, that you can always improve. you can always improve in any aspect in your life. So it's so important to be a lifelong learner and invest in yourself and just learn from any resource that you can at least once a day.
Yeah. I think, like, honestly, hopefully I'm up into my 80s and 90s, maybe into my 100s. I hope that I'm still growing at that point.
Yeah, me
and
too,
I'm still
man.
learning things, because I don't ever want to be stagnant. I don't want to ever be complacent. I don't mind being comfortable with where I'm at, but for me, I'm a very goal-oriented person, and when you're like that, you have no choice but to grow in some shape or form. So that's my goal for myself. I hope it's for you guys too that are watching or listening.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's dive into the challenge for the day. I think that we've covered these pretty well. Is there anything else you want to say about these 12? I mean,
I was just going to say, quote Maxwell here at the end.
Yeah, let's do that.
Got
Gotta give him credit.
Well. He says, if you settle these 12 issues by making the right decision in each area and then work to manage those decisions daily, you can be successful. So when I read that, I think to myself, it is a lifelong thing of managing this. You're going to have to be making decisions for the rest of your life. But
Yeah.
you need to manage those. And again, I think the key word here is work. Like we always say, put in the work. Like if you're not willing to put in the work, then you're not willing to be successful.
Exactly. No, I love it, man. I love it. You got to make good decisions every day, because it will affect the next day and the next day. So that's what I want to talk about in the challenge, is really make that big decision that you've been putting off. And I think Mike and I talked about this before, and we're like, how many people put these things off? How many people do not make that big decision? How many people are like, oh, well, tomorrow I'll do it, or you know what, next week is better, and they procrastinate on their dreams, they procrastinate on the things that they want and that they deserve. And if you do that, I'm sorry, but you're going to be in a regretful position when you're a lot older. The rocking chair test we talk about all the time. But make that big decision that you've been putting off. Just make it, go with it confidently, and make sure it aligns with all your values and your morals, and just do it to the fullest of your ability. If it doesn't work out to how you want, well, then you learn, and then you make the next decision that will help you keep moving forward.
That's right. And our health tip for episode 19, decisions, is people ask me about cardio. When should I do cardio? The first thing I would say is do cardio anytime you can fit it in, first and foremost. So I know we're busy, so fit it in whenever you can. However, if you need to do your resistance training and your cardio in the same session, the science would actually say to lift your weights first, because weightlifting is primarily anaerobic, meaning without oxygen. So that means that you're primarily going to be using a lot of the carbohydrates in your body as the energy source when you're pumping the iron. So it makes sense that once you deplete those and you get done with your weightlifting and you go to do your cardio afterwards, your body's probably going to shift over to body fat, because you used up a lot of your carbohydrates during the weightlifting. So it shifts over to body fat. So I typically tell people, do your cardio afterwards. I mean, you can do your cardio even within the workout. If you want to do jump rope in between sets, kettlebell swings or rope swings, whatever you want to do, you can intersperse that in. But if you're going to separate it, do your weights first and your cardio second. However, on rare occasion, I would say if you feel like your body's gotten used to that, like I just had a client where she's been doing her weights first, cardio second, and she's kind of stuck in a rut. I said, let's take that cardio and put it first, so you thoroughly exhaust yourself before you go to hit the weights, and let's see how your body responds. But for the most part, I would say hit the iron as hard as you can, and then go and do your intense cardio afterwards.
Love it, man. Love it. Great tip. Hey, we know stuff.
We're kind of smart.
We're investing in ourselves. We want you to do the same. Thanks so much for joining us. That means you are investing in yourself when you're hanging out with us. Right? Please comment, like, share. Please comment. What do you want to hear about? What do you want us to invest in so we can share back to the world, so we can share to you? We're also on iTunes, Unstoppable Pursuit. Please write us a review. We would be so, so happy for a great review from you guys. And we are going to keep pushing ourselves. So keep pushing the limits in business, life, and health. And we'll see you all on episode 20 next time, baby, on the next episode.
20.